Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, and good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
Good afternoon, sir. It's a pleasure to be with you.
And you, as always. Yes, it's kind of become our thing, hasn't it?
Yes, and I want to apologize. A friend of mine pointed out, he was listening to the broadcast. He says, Ed, you know, you walked over some of Gary, and I couldn't understand both of you. I said, I got to watch that.
Oh, you know, I kind of noticed that the other day, too. Not just me, but all of us, including our listeners. You can't help it. They can't see that we're looking to talk. But, yeah, we do. I mean,
it becomes more conversation than you got to think it's radio. But, you know, Tucker Carlson does it a lot on television, too. He does it horribly. So,
yeah. Well, you know who, last night, I don't catch Laura Ingraham very often. I like to catch her, but she's too late for me. I'm an early go-to-bed kind of guy, right? And she had Lawrence Kudlow on last night. And so I actually tweeted her. I'm like, let him talk, Laura. I love the show.
Yeah.
She was interrupting him a lot, and I was like, oh, my gosh, you know. But, yeah, we do, because you and I, it's like sitting at a kitchen table.
Yeah, I know exactly. Oh, I'm sorry, I did it again.
It's like us sitting at a kitchen table, and so we just start yippity-yapping away, and sometimes, so our apologies. I do it, too, so we'll work on being more
I will
professional.
behave myself.
Me too.
I just did it again. I'm sorry.
Exactly. All right, well, what we do on the Drift every Saturday is go over the news that we put on thedailydrift.com 7 days a week. It's
the news you need to know.
Yeah, I missed a line, didn't I?
No. I just didn't want to. I want to make sure you were done talking before I said anything.
No, it happens. So we've got a lot to talk about. We've got Congressman Tim coming at the end of the hour, or the bottom of the hour, so we can get to that. But let's take care of a little business. Boric Jennings Funeral Homes. None of us like to talk about passing, but it's going to happen to all of us. None of us get out of here alive, right? So at some point,
don't take anything with you.
Yeah, and you never know. So it always makes it very good idea to put a little forethought and planning into your ending so that your family doesn't have to deal with it. Because the last thing you want when they're grieving for you and enjoying and reminiscing, they don't want to be bothered with the details of the payments and what needs to happen. So put a little planning into it, folks. It's pretty simple. Boric Jennings Funeral Home. They got offices in Hamburg, Howell, Manchester, and Brooklyn, Michigan. You can go to borikjennings.com. That's BOREKJENNINGS.com. Or you can reach them at 810-231-0200. That's 810-231-0200.
You want to make sure you plan ahead for the kind of burial service you want. Otherwise, you may end up in a cardboard box, and you'll have no say in it.
But for me, no funeral, don't want it. Somebody buy a keg, come to the house. I want to be cremated, and you can put me in a shoebox. I'm fine with that. And then dump me out down the – I got a funny story, family story anyways, about down the highway and out the window, right? Let the dust fly. I'm good to go at that point because I'm gone. I don't care. I do hope there's some organs left to share. And, you know, I think I haven't checked that on my box, but if anyone, we all know Gary's an organ donor. If you want my stuff when I'm dead, you're more than welcome to have it.
It's on my driver's license.
I need to do that.
Well, it's important. My mom wanted to have her ashes scattered over the bayou. And when I went down to the funeral, I was with her husband, and he showed me where she was going to be buried on one side of his plot, and then on the other side was his first wife. And I said, what happened to the bayou? He says, I just couldn't bear to do that.
That's what she wanted.
Yeah, well.
It won't be a blue bayou. No,
I'm saying anyway. make your plans, folks. You may not get what you thought you were.
Okay, well, tons of stuff to talk about. I guess we could start off with Cohen testimony, right?
Oh, the lying liar who was lying to the liars in Congress?
Brat Fink liar comes to Congress. Yeah, let's be honest. You were convicted and admitted lying to Congress, so let's bring him back for another round, shall we?
Yeah, on the same day that President Trump's negotiating in Vietnam.
In Vietnam with North Korea.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to talk about I don't know who did what first there, date-wise, but it's pretty pathetic for the Democrats to be doing. And he looked... You know, I always say he looks like an older, drunken Ben Affleck to me. I think I even tweeted that out once during the testimony. But there's not a whole lot there, right? Because let's face it, his opening comments. Derek, we got track one. Let's listen to his...
Yeah, there was no collusion. Thank you, sir. Was he lying then?
Yeah. Or is he lying now?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, play it.
Questions have been raised about whether I know of direct evidence that Mr. Trump or his campaign colluded with Russia. I do not. And I want to be clear. But I have my suspicions. Sometime in the summer of 2017, I read all over the media that there had been a meeting in Trump Tower in June of 2016 involving Don Jr. and others from the campaign with Russians, including a representative of the Russian government, and an email setting up the meeting with the subject line, "Dirt on Hillary Clinton." Something clicked in my mind.
Yeah, so...
This is where a lawyer would jump up and say, "Objection, Your Honor, hearsay." It's his suspicion. All the Democrats are suspicious. So what? That's why he's there, and he can't give them any evidence. End of story.
Yeah. Well, at that time, wasn't he still involved with Trump? So all he's saying is, I read in the media.
Yeah.
But you were part and parcel inside. You didn't hear anything from inside. You read it in the media about the meeting. You allegedly saw an email with a heading, and he hasn't produced it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Or the oh, no, I lost it. Never mind.
I mean, it's and then one of the other Republican congressmen came out and said blah blah blah. He pounced on that and said, "What dates were those? Yeah, that was already out there long before. So thanks very much, but you're not telling us anything, basically."
Or I never wanted to be in the Trump administration, and then proven by, video testimony just hours later, he was lying to Congress again.
So does he get another charge for lying this time?
They're trying to. They're submitting. Who was it? Somebody was Mark Meadows. Put it to the Justice Department for referral. Because he lied to Congress again. Yes, it did happen the next day. Yep.
This guy is just dumb.
But Mark Meadows is a racist.
Oh, we're going to get into that. We got a whole bunch of tracks. And the only reason I really wanted to cover this so much is because it's our own Michigan congressperson, Rashida Tlaib.
No, not our own. Somebody other, Detroit's own. Yes.
It's Michigan's, right?
Yes,
and it's close to home here, and this radio station covers that area. And I want people in Detroit area and downriver and Dearborn, wherever that district lies, and all those areas, to think about what you voted in, whether you're a union guy, a Democrat, an old school Democrat, a new Democrat, an independent who for some reason doesn't like Trump and decided, I'm going to vote for this woman because she's a Democrat. This woman is anti-American, not particularly smart either, and yet you people put this hating, anti-Semitic, foul-mouthed, classless, and clueless person into the congressional seat representing Michigan.
Who doesn't even have enough sense to give us a name that we can pronounce. Just change your name like other immigrants do, give us a name you can pronounce.
Tlaib. You say it 3 times. Say it in the mirror 3 times with the candles in the dark. Let's see what happens.
Oh. No, you summoned something weird. I don't do the occult stuff.
I've watched too much South Park, I think, on that. There's nothing came out of the Cohen. The liberal media went crazy on. Oh, look, let's open up. Oh, and occasional Cortex was so good, mentioning we're now going to open up a whole slew of investigations on Trump's taxes and blah. I hope at some point Trump's going to go, all right, here you go. They're done with the audit. Mm-hmm. See what you find. Anything illegal? No. But, man, you made a lot of money. You didn't pay very much tax. Well, neither does Amazon or Mr. Bezos or Warren Buffett or Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, or anyone else. They find their ways to not – the whole idea is not pay taxes, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really want to give the government your money? I'd rather keep as much money as I can and give it to my own charities or to the church or to somebody in need. I'd give it to the guy down on the corner before I give it to the government.
We have one of our callers who told us he doesn't pay taxes, if you recall.
No names mentioned.
Yes.
But all right, so let's move on then, because we've got Congressman Tim coming on.
This happened during the Cohen
investigation. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's start with track 2, and it's Rashida Tlaib was angry, I'll set it up, was angry that Mark Meadows had invited Lynn Patton, who works for HUD. She's a very distinguished, came out of the private sector, came out
of the Trump organization.
Under the Trump organization.
Family friend.
Yeah, she's hardworking. She's African-American. She's worked her way up through the ranks. She's highly educated, very well-spoken, and she showed up at this hearing because she was not happy that Cohen was leveling these statements of Trump being a racist. Mm-hmm. So, Derek, you got track 2 ready? Let's listen to that.
Yesterday during the hearing, freshman Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, she said by you standing there behind Mark Meadows, she was calling it racist because she was saying he was using you as a prop. Listen to this.
Just to make a note, Mr. Chairman, just because someone has a person of color, a black person working for them, does not mean they aren't racist. And it is insensitive that some would even say it's the fact that someone would actually use a prop, a black woman, in this chamber, in this committee, is alone racist in itself.
Are you a prop? Are you a token?
You know, what I'd like to ask the Congresswoman from Michigan is, why does she take the word of a self-confessed perjurer and criminally convicted white man over a black female who's highly educated, rose up through the ranks of one of the most competitive companies in real estate? You spoke before 25 million people at the Republican National Convention and now works in one of the most historic administrations in history. And so to me, that would be my question. That's more racist than being put up there as a quote-unquote prop.
Well, I have a couple comments on that, okay? Because I was listening to Rashida Tlaib this morning. Is it Rashida? I like Rashida. So if it was, Rashida was saying that, hey, it's horrible to bring a prop, to use a person of color as a prop. I am a person of color. Now, what she just said was, I'm using myself as a prop. I'm here. I'm using myself as a demonstration.
Touché.
That's one. And then to go on and say that just because you have a friend or you employ blacks doesn't make you a racist. You could also go on to say just because you have pictures of Spike Lee hugging on you and pictures of you getting awards from the NAACP and all the liberal contagion in New York City hanging all over you, multiple pictures of you, all kinds of black people giving you awards, that doesn't mean you're not a racist.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, what Lynn Patton responded with was perfect sense. Mm-hmm. You're believing a white guy who's a liar, convicted liar, confessed liar, over me, a black person, who's worked their way up through the ranks, and yet you call me a prop, but he's the liar. So, Miss Tlaib, whatever, you're always welcome to come to the show and defend yourself. Love to have you in here and try and have a normal discussion. I highly doubt we could. No. But I will be as friendly and nice as I can possibly be. But you need to explain yourself, as well as any of these anti-Semitic, anti-Israel comments that you've got going on. And please explain why you don't have the decorum. And it's that trifecta of, for me, the trifecta of stupidity is Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and occasional Cortex. Mm-hmm. Because the three of them are just out. It's like they're trying to set themselves up for a book write or a movie thing.
Who can be the most offensive?
Yeah. And
it's a contest.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it drives me insane. But you know what? That is what it is. And for her to say that about Mark Meadows, of all people, is absolutely insane.
Well, he has people of color in his family.
Bingo. So let's listen to Derek track. Let's jump down to track 4, shall we? And this is Mark Meadows.
Mr. Meadows.
Mr. Chairman, there's nothing more personal to me than my relationship. My nieces and nephews are people of color. Not many people know that. You know that, Mr. Chairman. And to indicate that I asked someone who is a personal friend of the Trump family, who has worked for him, who knows this particular